Hi everyone, this is Amanda with Grammy's Craft Boutique, and I am doing a special order for a couple of dog themed Christmas bows, and I thought I would jump on here and do a quick YouTube video while I make this guy, just to show you how I use I have a Pro Bow 4-in-1 that has the two dowels in the center, but you can also use your Easy Bow Deluxe that has the two dowels in the center, or you can use a Bow Genius, which is the same concept with the two holders in the center. The Bow Genius holds it a little bit tighter in the middle, but today I'm going to use my Pro Bow 4-in-1. And the lady that ordered these bows wanted a traditional Christmas bow, but with a dog theme. So I like to use either a 4 or 5 inch for my first ribbon. It gives it a nice full base at the back of the bow. So I'm using a 5 inch. This is Member's Mark, so this was from Sam's, and it's a nice glittery red satin. And I'm going to dovetail one end. And when you dovetail, you just fold it in half. The 5 inch is a little tricky because it is wide. And you just cut it across to give it that nice dovetail. She wanted long tails, so I'm going to go ahead and just measure the length of the board. And then because this one is so wide, I gather it up in the middle before I give it a pinch. And then I pinch it and twist it. You always want your pretty side of your ribbon up. Okay, so here's your first tail. Pretty side is up. Pretty side is down. Now, we're going to make a 7-inch loop. And you want your loop, when you're measuring your loop, you want it to measure it full. You don't want to measure it flat like this. That'll make your bow lopsided. So measure it out full. Slide it in. And you can see how it's naturally going to twist. Then when it's in there, you just give it a scrunch and a twist. To put your pretty side down on the other side. So you've got your 7-inch loop on one side. Now we're going to do our 7-inch loop on the other side. And again, you want to measure with your loop full. You don't want to flatten it out. Now this one's just going to be a tail, so I'm going to scrunch it down and leave the pretty side up on your tail. There goes my dogs barking whenever I'm in here talking to myself. And I'm just going to cut that off and dovetail that at the end. So, like I said, I like to use a 4 or a 5-inch ribbon for the base of my bow. I feel like it gives a lot of lift and a nice base for the other ribbons. Now, like I said, she wanted a dog-themed Christmas bow. So I got some of these red Christmas trucks. There's a tree and a wreath and a black lab, a couple black labs sitting next to the truck. Now this is what we call a directionally challenged ribbon. your trucks are facing one direction. And we want to make sure that we don't have our ribbon upside down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut what you would call fake tails. And I'm just going to measure out the tail, cut the ribbon, and give it a pinch, enough so that the dowels will hold it. Put it in there. Now I'm going to cut my other tail so that they're facing the same direction. I kind of have a thing about my ribbon facing the wrong direction. I hate it. Or when you have words that are upside down. Oh, pet peeve. Okay, so now you have your tails. Your trucks are facing the same direction, which I like. But now you got to make your loops, and you want your trucks facing the same direction. So I'm going to make these the same length, 7 inches. And I'm just going to create a couple loops on each side, making sure I got that the right length. Doing 2 loops on each side. And just make sure that you have enough ribbon in the center that the dowels are going to hold on to it. Then I kind of fold it in half, make sure my loops are the same direction, and then pinch it in the center. And push it down. Now, when we tie off our bow and we fluff it, our trucks and our dogs are facing the right direction. Okay. It just looks nicer. You know, these tails, your trucks are facing the same direction. This way, instead of doing all the pinching and twisting and getting your trucks upside down, the trucks are facing forward. Okay, so we'll fluff those at the end. And, uh-oh, I need more ribbon. Hold, please. Had to go get another roll of this ribbon because I used up what I had in my first roll the other day when I made her first bow. I'm just dovetailing the one end, and then I end up dovetailing the other ends at the end of the project, measuring out my tail, giving it a pinch and a twist. Okay, so we did 1 loop of each of our 5-inch ribbon. We did 2 loops of each of the truck, which we'll fluff out at the end. So this one's gonna lay in the middle of the truck ribbon. So I'm just gonna do 1 loop on each side. And I'm just gonna make it a little bit smaller. And then give it a twist. Put it down in your dowel. You've got your pretty side up and your pretty side down. So we're going to bring that pretty side back up to make our other loop. And just place it down in the dowels. and give it a scrunch because you want your pretty side up for both your tails. And that's the key using any ribbon maker or any bow maker, whether it's the Pro Bow 4-in-1, the Easy Bow Maker, the Bow Genius. You always pinch and twist your ribbon so that you're bringing your pretty side up. That's the key. And now, like I said before, I'm Amanda with Grammy's Craft Boutique, and some of you have watched Grammy's videos. I can tell you that my mom, that's Grammy, she can make beautiful bows by hand because she's been crafting her whole life. I have not successfully made a hand bow. My hands cramp up. I can't seem to get my loops the right size. I'm just a hot mess. Now, I wouldn't call this one directionally challenged ribbon, but I do want my dogs to all be facing the same direction. So I'm going to do the same thing I did with the truck ribbon, and I'm going to make fake tails so that all the dogs are facing down. And I give that a pinch so that you have enough for the dowel to hold on to, because you want your wire to get around it. That way all the doggies are facing the same direction. Almost put the doggies upside down, guys. Pinch. Okay, now we got all of our puppies facing the same direction. And we're going to do the same thing we did with the truck ribbon with the loops. We're just going to create our loops. And we want these about the same length as our red and green ribbon. And we're going to do 2 on each side. Just want to make sure. They're the right length. Okay. And you want to give yourself enough ribbon so that the dowel can hold on to it, okay? You don't want to cut it so short that the dowel doesn't hold on to it and that your wire won't catch it. So we give it a twist, or we give it a pinch, and then I just bring up the sides here to make sure that our loops are going to be the same length, and then push it down in the dowels. Okay, so you're going to have 2 loops. Since she wanted dog themed ribbon, I wanted to do the 2 loops of each of the dog truck and the Christmas dogs, so that it really had that dog theme. Okay, that's the end of our 2.5 inch. Now we're going to bring in our 1.5 inch. And she did want traditional Christmas. So I brought in some glittery red and white, like candy cane stripes. Measure my tail. And I'm not measuring the tails, I'm just matching them up to what I have. So we're just going to do 1 loop of each of these, the same length as the dog ribbon. That one was a little long. You give it a twist. And then on your second one, you just bring it down and scrunch it so that your pretty side is up on your tail. Whew. These great big rolls of ribbon are kind of hard to handle. I wanted to bring in some black and white polka dots because I don't know if you can see on some of the dogs. Some of the dogs have the red and white stripe, which is why I wanted to give a little nod to the red and white stripe in the 1.5. And then some of the dogs have black with white polka dots. So I wanted to bring in some black with white polka dots. And this was going to lay on either side of the red and white stripe. So we're going to do 2 loops of each. You guys can probably hear my dogs barking. They know I'm in here talking. They don't know who I'm talking to or what I'm talking about, but they're nosy, so. Now, when you're doing more than one loop, okay, like on this one, I twisted this one forward, put it in the dowel. Now, I'm going to flip this one over so the pretty side is up. Now, I'm going to twist this one toward me. That just allows for better fluffing. When you get your bow finished, your bow looks more balanced and it's easier to fluff because your twists are going the opposite direction. Now this one's the tail, so we don't twist. We just push it down in there, give it a scrunch, and then cut our tail. And you can see the bow starting to build up. It's one of the reasons why I like this kind of bow maker, because you can kind of see like you can see your bow starting to take shape. Now this one accents back to your back ribbon. It's a red with some glittery, almost like a plaid. And this one we're just going to do 1 loop of each. A little bit smaller than the black and white polka dot. And then on your second loop, remember you don't twist because you're bringing your tail down. You want your pretty side up. Okay. Now your center bow, I wanted this to nod back to the dog theme. So I'm just going to measure my tail, give it a twist, and I'm just going to make 1 small loop. And I'm not going to twist that second time. Now this loop serves to, in my mind, it finishes the bow. It gives it a nice finished look having that center loop, but it also covers all of the twists and just kind of makes it look more finished in the center. Okay, now I'm looking for some chenille stems. Some people use zip ties, which is totally fine. I use chenille stems, and since this bow is big, I'm going to put 2 chenille stems together and just twist them. And then I give it a pull to make sure that they're really tight together. Okay, and then I just give it a bend in the center. Okay, I pull up my bow. And put the chenille stem in. See how all that is nice and stacked up even? Okay. You really, really tightly squeeze that together. Tight, 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 tight. And then twist. Now when you twist the bow itself, it actually really tightens that up nice. And then you just start fluffing your bow. And see how that center loop, it hides the chenille stem and kind of gives it that real finished look. And now that we're all tightened up together, we can start pulling those dog ribbons apart. Just remember, if you have images or words, you can always cut your tails, place them into your bow maker, and you know, make your loops separately so that you can get your images and your tails going the right direction. Okay, so we have a nice big full Christmas dog themed bow for my friend that's ordered these from me. I'll show you the one that I already have fluffed out really nice. This one already has all the tails cut. So she wants 3 of these, and then she wants 3 of like a rustic Christmas dog theme. So there's your bow. Now remember, we did the 5-inch, which you can use 4 or 5-inch ribbon if you want for your base of your bow. But see how that really like makes a nice base, holds up the rest of the bow. I have a problem fluffing. I can't stop. I want to make it perfect. And she wanted long tails. So we made some long tails and dovetailed all the ends. So there we go. That's a nice full Christmas dog themed bow. All right, guys, again, this is Amanda with Grammy's Craft Boutique, and this was just a quick tutorial on how to make a bow using the Pro Bow 4-in-1. You can also use the Easy Bow Maker or the Bow Genius, because it's the same concept with the dowels that hold your ribbon while you're twisting it. We did 7-inch loops on your base ribbon, and then we just went a little bit smaller each time. And it looks like I got one more bow to go, so I got to get to work, you guys. You have a beautiful day, and thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and definitely follow us on Grammy's Craft Boutique on Facebook. We do 2 lives a week, and we have awesome followers, and we have so much fun. And we always try to do something different. So You'll see me or you'll see my mom, Grammy. We'll see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching.